Hey everybody, welcome back. So I had a kind of a block on what to make, and going around Facebook, I saw something about Cracker Barrel meatloaf, and it looked interesting. It's like, meatloaf. I was like, okay. I was like, let me do a meatloaf, and then I looked at this Cracker Barrel Copycat recipe, and it looked pretty interesting. Of course, I'm going to add two items that aren't in the original recipe, just to kind of make it my own. But yeah, so this is what you're going to need. Okay, so I got here a little bit over 2 pounds of chopped meat, and this is 85/15. I couldn't find the 80/20. I'd rather have 80/20. This is not in the original, is Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to put 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce in it. Also, what's not in the original is garlic. I can't help but I put garlic in everything. So I got a couple cloves of garlic. All right. We've got 3 eggs. We've got 4 ounces of, this is a sharp cheddar. We got half a cup of milk. And we're going to use 1.5 sleeve of Ritz crackers. And I've got 1 cup of onion and 1 cup of bell pepper. I think it calls for a teaspoon of salt and 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper. This has also got a topping on it, and the topping is going to be half a cup of ketchup, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, and even though this says tablespoon, it's actually teaspoon. I measured it out and then just put it in here. This is 1 teaspoon of yellow mustard. Let's start off by breaking these up. All right, so I got a baggie here. I'm gonna open this up. And about half of this, so I don't know, I guess, oh, that's about half. Okay, get the air out of the bag, I'm gonna seal it, and then just break it up. You can use a rolling pin, but this will work just as well. Yeah, doesn't have to be, because once you get this in with all the ingredients and it softens up, it'll be okay. So now we're going to take a bowl. I'm going to break 3 eggs in there. So this is a half cup measuring cup. So yeah, pretty much all the onions and so mix this together. Okay, we're going to add the milk, the cheese, all right, we're going to add those crumbs. All right, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire. Almost forgot the garlic. Garlic. And about a teaspoon salt. Black pepper. Okay. Now this is, this is where you want to be careful with the meat. You want to work this in, but you don't want to work it too much. Just to the point where everything is kind of mixed together. Oh, I do have my oven preheating at 350 degrees. I think that's it. Working that together, and we'll get a sheet, cookie sheet or a sheet pan, and we'll shape this and put it on the sheet pan. Let me just wash my hands. Okay, we're gonna line this with aluminum foil. So what I like to do is I like to kind of measure a little bit more than you need. Take 2 sheets. Put shiny part to shiny part. And basically you're going to seal it. So this way, as it cooks, those juices won't get baked onto your sheet pan. So you're just going to kind of fold it over a couple times to make a seal. And then you open it up. And it's big enough for the pan. And it's like one big sheet. Okay. So now we're gonna take this out. I'm gonna just shape it. Not bad, that looks pretty good, just like that. This is going to go in without any glaze at this point. All right, it's going to go in for 30 minutes at 350 degrees. Okay. Alexa, set timer for 30 minutes.
30 minutes. Starting now.
All right, now we're going to take that half a cup of ketchup. It says half to 3/4, but I'm not gonna put 3/4 of a cup. This should be more than enough to coat that. Okay. Half a cup. Teaspoon of mustard. And those 2 tablespoons of sugar. Now this you want to mix up real well. Make sure all that sugar's in there. All right, so that's going to be it until that half hour's up. Okay, so the half hour is done. Take it out. Yeah, put this glaze on there. Okay, now this is going to go back in for another 30 to 40 minutes or until the internal temperature reaches about 160. I'm just going to go for that 40 minutes. Alexa, set timer for 40 minutes.
40 minutes, starting now.
Yeah. All right, so that's the end of the 40 minutes, and it fell apart. Okay, so I think what happened here was I didn't allow for the extra meat that I added. The original recipe calls for 1 1.25 pound of meat, and I used a whole pound more than what the original recipe calls for. And I used the original amount of Ritz crackers for the recipe. I didn't allow for that extra meat that I added. So next time what I would do is I would compensate it. If I use 2 pounds of meat like I did here, I would use 2 sleeves of crackers. I'll make that adjustment in the description, and yeah, hopefully it'll stay together next time. It wasn't that bad. It was just a big crack on top, and when I went to cut into it, it fell apart. You know, one of those meatloaf problems. I typically use a loaf pan. This is the first time I've ever tried making a meatloaf just by shaping it. I may not have compressed it enough as well when I was shaping it. Anyway, all right, this has got to sit for 15 minutes.